One issue with the newly created puppet is that once you put in bones and draggers, they work, but they also really work. They don't treat them as actual limbs. In order to treat them as actual limbs, you must enable something called limb IK. So back in Rig, next to the name of your puppet, Ghost Starter, click on the little Lego block. At least that's what I think it looks like. And on the plus sign, you're going to choose limb IK. This is going to add on the right-hand side some limb. I think it's called inverse kinematics or something like that. What we're going to have to do to make that work is we have to tag the arms with the appropriate pieces. Now, fortunately, we already have a shoulder, technically, and maybe what we would call a wrist, since we have our dragger and we have our origin handle. And so let's go over here, click on the shoulder, and then in the tags for properties, click the shoulder. Then repeat with the dragger at the bottom and tag that one for that wrist. That means the only thing we have left is an elbow. You're going to need to come down and choose the one that looks like target. That's the handle key. Put it where the elbow goes and tag it as elbow. Provided you tag those items, if you have your limb IK enabled, you should then notice that that arm behaves differently. So now when I move it, it just automatically turns, like to put his hands on his hip when it gets to a certain amount, and I'm dragging way out here and it won't go. Whereas on my other one, we can just kind of go all over the place. So really all you have to do is, once again, choose the arm, click on the shoulder and tag it as such. Click on the dragger, that's the wrist, and tag it as such. And then add a handle in the middle and tag it as an elbow. And again, as long as you have those kinematics, that limb IK turned on, you should be good to go. And now you'll see limb IK over here. This wasn't actually here initially. There are things you can change, like the bend strength and the stretchiness. If you wanted to allow more stretchiness, you could do that. That's all here. But the limb IK works for arms, and if we had legs on our character, it would help whenever you did this up and down. Your character, you would tag knees, and your character would bend. And so that's how that essentially works. One last thing to do while we're in here for your arms, we're going to click on the open arrow next to dragger, and notice that right now we have after move set to hold in place. So if I put my arm up, it just stays there. Let's change after move to return to rest. That means if I wave, it's going to automatically go back down, and I didn't have to drag it back down. Now, if it goes too fast, for return duration, you can choose how long that's going to take. For instance, if I put in 1 whole second and then I wave, it will very slowly work its way back down. You can choose what settings you want for that. But let's set it so that after we do a movement, it automatically goes back into position. So you don't have to think about dragging it back into position. And that's basically limb IK. Tag it, make sure the behavior is turned on, and then, of course, if you wish, you change your puppet track behaviors for your dragger. That's it.